So I want to just make a quick rant. I was going through my YouTube subscriptions today, and I saw Vapor Self of all people talk about Destined Rivals ETBs are hitting $300. This is false. I mean, if you go to TCG Player, maybe there were some sales ranging from 225 to 336, but I mean, you check now. Aside from these three people, it's like 220, 230 ish, and 250 and plus. And you look on eBay too; it's the same thing, like around two anywhere from 210 to 230, 240, a lot of 220s. So it's not $300. If you just pay attention today, it's not that hard. You could, everyone's on their phone. This is a Walmart. Clearly, there was talks that we'd get Destined Rivals ETBs in the summer. Looks like they're hitting Walmarts already. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some Walmart drops online. Target drops usually follow, a week or two after online as well. So we're probably going to start seeing these online. So just, be ready for notifications and things like that. This is just Twitter. You could follow like a dozen different Pokemon restock alert pages, and they all kind of do the same thing within, 30 seconds of each other. But, will this affect the price or anything? I mean, I think it'll maybe knock ETBs down like 10%. It's just this market right now is just crazy. Singles, maybe these will see the most effect. Maybe Mewtwo will drop under $500 and Garchomp close to maybe 200 and so on. I don't see significant changes in the prices of these things either. It's just we barely got any Destined Rivals. Everyone's ready for it. Everyone's going to grab it. Everyone's probably not even going to open it, honestly. Barely gets open now. Now I want to go into actually, before I do go into this, that's just a reminder too, is we saw this crazy shoot up of the ETBs in the booster box going to like $600 for Destined Rivals. And just know that reprints come. I mean, everyone just thinks because we don't see a reprint for 6 months or something after a set's released, it's like, oh, they're not going to reprint it. Too many other things to print. The popular stuff, it'll just take time for, things to get reprinted and restocked in stores and online and things like that. Just, it's not an overnight thing. It just takes time. So, I mean, just something to consider when, you're thinking of we got no more Black Bolt, White Flare. We got no more, Ascended Heroes, things like that. It's just, you kind of just got to be patient. But now I want to get into kind of like the little videos I've been making about looking for some affordable PSA 10 cards that maybe you want to just take a gamble on, switch from your sealed collection. These are the three higher end ones that I would recommend. And that I'm looking to pick up personally would be this, Hidden Fates ETB promo. You can get a PSA 10 for it for $450. Obviously, there's a crap ton of these. Hidden Fates ETBs were printed to the moon. So, there's 40,000 of these. But I mean, I feel like this is just a safe card at this point from Sun and Moon era. Only $450. I know that's kind of pricey for a lot of people, but just don't be afraid to maybe take a stab at this. It's it's just one of those cards that's already had its time maturity that in a bear market, this thing probably wouldn't go below $350. You picked it up for $450 with tax. Maybe you're in it for $460, $465. So you take that gamble as it goes down $100. This could be also, by the end of this year, an $800 card, maybe $1,000. I mean, in this market, wouldn't be surprised. The next one, Celebi Venusaur, cool tag team card, $650 in a 10. So a little even more on the higher end. But if, like I said, maybe you were thinking of getting a Surging Sparks booster box case or a ETB case of something on the cheaper side, maybe you got that $1,500 price window, maybe grab this card and this one, you know what I mean? For that price, take a stab at a couple PSA 10s. That's what I've done recently is grab a couple 10s, and I'm going to show my collector app in a minute. But yeah, again, this is just if you're looking to switch it up from sealed, and maybe you're I want to take a couple moonshot plays, a couple gambles, something like that. These are the higher end cards that I would recommend. The last one being, this tag team Charizard breaks in around $630 in a PSA 10. Got 2,500 of these almost in a 10 grade. So again, higher end, just nice card though. Charizard tag team card, you can't go wrong. I just don't see a world, even in a bear market, where these drop 50%. Just my personal opinion. And now I want to just go into my collector app and just show I'm filtered on just slabs that I own. And we got this one that I'm still waiting to come in the mail, the Giratina that I just got the other week in a Facebook trade. And then I want to get into this. So I got this last year, this just a regular Charizard V PSA 10 for $50. $50 on eBay. And now it's over $160 in a PSA 10. It's just you can make some money in these cheaper slabs too. And that's what I'm going to show. Same thing with the Sylveon. I think this was 2 or 3 weeks ago I got this. No, this was 2 or 3 months ago I got this one. It was $120. So, small gain, $160, $40 in the green. This Lucario V-Star, I literally just made a video of me picking this up for $110 last week, going up to $150. Even the Hidden Fates, or not the Hidden Fates, sorry, Champions Path ETB promo. I paid $50 for this at a card show. and now it's pushing 100. Same thing with the Sylveon V Full Art. I think I got this like a month or two ago, and I paid like $70 for it, and now it's like $100. So like even these smaller cards, like over time, you will see like we're in this like market where like buyouts are happening like crazy. People are starting to like build like price point thresholds. Like maybe it's like $200 to $300. Anything below that, like let's gobble that all up, because it's like once you start getting into like the $400, $500, $600 range, that's when it's like okay, one item for that much is kind of getting a little pricey. But this is what I've been noticing. This is what I've noticed people on the YouTube Pokemon space have been like sharing their like what they're seeing with cards and like sealed products too. You know what I mean? Like the Destined Rivals ETBs, like those were 200 for a while. Now they're pushing 250, apparently 300, but that's obviously false. But I mean, like even with other things like Ascended Heroes is reaching that $200 threshold. Like Prismatic's been around like 150, 160. A lot of cards doing the same thing, like buyouts with cards that are still like in that low couple $100 range. You're starting to see buyouts happen, and it makes sense because like those are still relatively affordable for most people. And when they get all gobbled up, then they start to reach these significant highs. So aside from those 3 PSA 10 cards that I shared, I want to go back to Pokedata. This is a list of all the Sun and Moon promos. And what I thought was cool was that I didn't realize is you can filter on PSA 10 value, high to low. So I don't have to keep clicking through all these. I can kind of just share it in one swoop. A lot of them, I see like these Pikachus with the hats. A lot of them are pretty expensive, but if you kind of scroll down, we're going to go down to like the, low 300 and under range, maybe even a little lower. But I mean, like you see like a Champions Festival for 200. A lot of evolutions in here. I don't think the full arts are something that are really worth picking up, in my personal opinion. But you got some of these cooler cards with like the set stamp, which I thought was pretty cool. Obviously, you got to look for a popular Pokemon. I looked at this one and I was like, no way. And it's like $3 or $4 grand in a 10 because there's only like a pop of like 10 of them. So not in the cards. But you start looking a little bit farther down, and you got a Kyogre here from Celestial Storm with a stamp. It's just, what I mean? Like you could pick that up for like $100. Maybe if this Pokedata is a little inaccurate, it's probably like maybe closer to 150. Even like just like I did with this Charizard is just an example. I paid $50 for this last year. Now it's over 150. Consider maybe getting just this regular Charizard. I know it's just a regular promo, and there's nothing special about it, but I mean, for $100, who knows? It could be $200 next year. Some of these Detective Pikachu cards too, I think are pretty cool. Another Pikachu. I feel like you can really never go wrong with a Pikachu PSA 10 under $100. You know what I mean? Eventually, these are going to have their time. Golds, I'm not really a big fan of, but if you are, you can get a couple of the golds under $100. You got a couple more like Raichu's, a Bulbasaur, Detective Pikachu. I think most of these are hollows as well, because that's kind of when we started to get like hollows for everything. We keep going down. Anything in like the low mid 50s. This Flareon's pretty cool. $42. I mean, it costs what, $30 to grade a card now. So I mean, you're paying what, an extra $10 to get a PSA 10. And like a lot of these, same with the Leafeon. You know what I mean? Like you could maybe get like a Leafeon, Flareon, Jolteon combo for like under $100 in a 10. Like eventually, like those will have their time. It's just these Sun and Moon promos are still less than 10 years old, most of them. So you just have to be patient. But I mean, they would have their time. We got a Reshiram GX for like $28. Like just doesn't, like that's less than what it costs to grade a card. Yeah, I feel like the farther down we go, Beware, kind of cool. Yeah, most of these other ones I think we're kind of at that point where nothing too special. So we're gonna scroll back up. We're kind of gonna look at that like $300-ish range now, and play around with this. Like I keep mentioning, go on Pokedata. Use these filters, these features, and check out different cards. I think right now for like $100, Charizard GX promo PSA 10, that seems like a no-brainer. Cool full art Raichu here. Let's keep going up now. Even some like EVs. You know what I mean? There's a lot of EV cards, but I mean it's just anything evolution. Over time will go up. So let's just kind of look, Salamence full. Oh, right here, like a Pikachu, Zekrom, Tag Team Gold. I think like these golds are decent because like the Crown Zenith ones, like at least there's like some coloring and like, what I mean? Like very distinguishable features, Pikachu, Zekrom, like another Charizard GX. I think this is like a Detective Pikachu one. It's going for like 250. Still, like it's different. You know what I mean? It's got that like Detective Pikachu vibe. You got a cool Celebi here. What else? Yeah, just another EV. Detective Pikachu stamp. Couldn't go wrong with that. No, just another full art. Maybe if you want to kind of stretch it now, we're getting to like the high 300s. Maybe get the Reshiram Charizard in the gold. You could get, seems like to be the only Ash's Pikachu with a hat under $400 at this point. But I mean, if you grab that one, got the I Choose You little stamp or whatever that might be right there. But I mean, if this one follows suit with the other ones in hats, I mean, going to be pushing $400, $400. I mean, where was a bunch of those other ones? Yeah, another one backwards hat, $720, and these are probably pushing 1,000 at this point because Pokedata is a little behind. But I mean, yeah, I mean these are just things to think about. This Mewtwo is probably a crap ton of money, but yeah, just don't be afraid to look at for some of those cheaper PSA 10s. I mean, I'd say if you got the money for like something $400 to $600, consider one of these ones. But like I showed my collector app, you know what I mean? You can get some of these cheaper $50 to $100 PSA 10s and they can pop off. I mean, just something to think about. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying this little collage I'm doing the past few videos, kind of just sharing some of the different arrows, their promo cards and stuff like that. You know, you can find some things, some deals, some cheapies, you know, fill up a little case or something of some PSA slabs if you're just trying to switch it up from the sealed. Obviously, I'm doing both still, but, you know, I'm starting to diversify a little bit. I got a crap ton of sealed. Now I'm trying to just get a little bit of some slabs, some volatile plays that, you know, could just outperform. That's all I'm trying to do. If they don't outperform, they kind of go down, you know, so be it. But, you know, that's just the risk I'm willing to take. It's not financial advice, just my thoughts. So leave a comment. Any card you're looking at, anything you're picking up right now. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.